Hello and welcome to the Penfield Parks and Recreation Advisory Board meeting. This is Tuesday, September 10th, 2024. My name is Don Hoyler. I'm the Deputy Chair. Our Chairperson, Sherry Kartik, could not be here tonight, so I will be leading the meeting. Call to order at 6:02. First item on the agenda is additions and deletions to the agenda. I actually have one. I heard from the property manager at the Thousand Acre Swamp property today regarding the connecting trail to Rothfuss Park, so I'll provide an update on that as part of the Trails Committee section. Does anyone else have any additions? No. Okay. So this is the first meeting that we've had since May, so that's a long time to remember the meeting, but minutes from that meeting had been circulated and reviewed, I think. Everyone has a copy. Does anyone have any comments or questions on those minutes from the May meeting? All right. So
seems like just yesterday we were meeting in May and summer flew by. But
it was a fast summer for sure, and hopefully an enjoyable one. So those minutes will be approved, and we'll move on to discussion topics. Our first topic for tonight will be an Eagle Scout project presentation. For those not aware, the Penfield Parks and Rec does have a small budget, and we provide funding for projects that are approved. And so Ben Wood is here, and he's going to come up to the mic, and he has prepared a presentation that he would like to give to this board, and we'll decide on whether or not we can go forward with funding for that. So welcome, Ben.
Hi. Is this close enough? All right, cool.
Yep, that's good. We can hear you. Thank you.
Thank you guys for having me. Appreciate it. I'm Ben Wood. I'm with Troop 312, and I'm improving a path at Sherwood Fields. Next one. All right, so the things that I need to improve at the path is a not very walk-through path. It's off to the side, not off the main trails. There's a lot of brush going through it, so I need to clear that out. There's a lot of fallen branches and stuff like that. And the thing that I need funding for is I'm constructing 4 boardwalks or bog bridges, and they because the path is like it attracts water and it doesn't drain very well, so it kind of like lingers there. And I need to remark the path because it's got a lot of faded like marks and stuff. Mm-hmm. Next thing. So these are the faded marks. It's very off from the trail. It's like hard to find. So you definitely need these, and it's hard to follow as well. So I would like to remark them and make them more frequent because they're not in places where they need to be, where it's the only way you can like find your way is if kind of failing and then following another way. That's the next one. This is throughout the trail. There's a lot of like fallen trees and stuff like that here, so I'll need to take a day to do that. And then next slide. All right, so for the bridges, it is going to cost about $171 total for the lumber. I'm building 4 bridges, which are $42 each. Can you go to the next slide? It's got a next one. Oh, it's not. There it is. Okay. Gotcha. Sorry, I thought okay. It is so. That's 2. 12-foot planks or boards, and I'm using 4x4s to underneath them to raise them up. And for areas where it's like off level, I'm going to use other ones and put them under the 4x4s like that. And yeah, and then if you go back to there's the trail is not on like all trails or like Google Maps or anything like that. So I'd also like to add that to the thing so it's more accessible. People can find it. And if you go up one more, these are there it is. These are some pictures. This is during the spring when it's a lot more muddy, so it's a little bit less wet, but it I need to replace a lot of those boards. You can see that they're sunken into the mud, and you can also see it's like flat, so it's like it kind of lingers on the trail for a while, and it took until about July or so for it to dry up. Mm-hmm. So definitely need some good bridges there. There's some other pictures. Yeah, it's pretty far, but yeah. All right, I think that's it. Thank you.
So this is, there were the Commission ditches, and then there are the two bridges across the Commission ditch.
Mm-hmm.
This is the trail on the
Yes.
far side that goes up and connects back in?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I got a picture of me on the bridge that I think you're talking about.
And the wood is pressure treated?
Yes, it's pressure treated, yeah.
Okay.
That was what I...
And the 4x4s just sit on the ground?
Yeah.
So you'll have to prepare the ground and set them? How about all the trail maintenance? Are you?
Yeah, I was going to have...
Got to be chainsaws and things, I'm assuming.
Yeah, we have a lot of people in my troop. It's like 50 or so people in my troop, so I have a lot of people a lot of volunteers who I can have help clear out for one day, and then we'll have another day where we'll actually build the bridges and set them in certain places. I'll probably build them at home and then set them there with a group of scouts. But I also have a lot of people in my troop who probably have chainsaws that I can lend them from, or we can rent one. But that's, no, I don't need funding for that. So.
When do you think you'll be able to do this?
I was thinking we have a fundraiser in 2 weeks. I was thinking of doing it the weekend after that. So.
Okay, so this fall. Is it dry enough?
Yeah, probably end of September, early October.
Right. Is it dry enough to do this? No?
I went the other day, and it is dry enough, definitely. Unless it rained the other day, but it'll.
Yeah. Bob, this would be pretty.
Well, I guess first question: are they allowed to use chainsaws?
Hi, my name's Tim. I'm with the Parks Department. How you doing? We do not allow outside volunteers to use power equipment on town property. It's just a liability thing. You're allowed to use hand loppers, bow saws, what have you, but you cannot use power equipment as far as chainsaws and stuff like that. So,
If there's a couple big trees, is that something you?
that's something that we can, that if they're completely in the way or if they need to be moved like that, contact the Parks Department and we can move it for you.
Okay.
I don't know if you heard all. It's one of those secondary trails.
Yep.
Okay,
I saw the map today, and I see some of those pictures that came up. That's something that we could go through and clear first off, and then let you do the minor limbing and trimming and moving the stuff. I mean, we could, just to help out the project, we could just even cut it in place and chunk it up, and then have you guys move it out of the way. So there are options for us to get those big trees out of the way, but we typically don't let outside groups use power equipment on our chainsaws on our properties.
So who should I call for?
You can contact, I think you've been contacting Andy.
I'll connect you.
Yeah.
Okay.
But either way, I think your 4 bridges are more than enough for your Eagle Scout project. So if anything, to be honest, I know we didn't discuss the removal prior to this, so I know you were going above and beyond. So thank you for be willing to doing those sort of things. But that stuff the Parks Department can handle just with insurance and fun stuff like that.
Yeah. Thank you.
Just the other quick comment. I seem to recall having given you a box for the Trails Committee of a bunch of nails and things like that. I'm just wondering whether you can make those available to him.
Certainly. Yeah. I mean, we've got a whole bunch of nails and screws and things like that. So we can talk. Usually I do keep those. They're actually right outside my office in a little storage area. So when you send me what you need specifically ordered from Home Depot, if approved by the board, if some of that stuff can be from the Trails Committee, that'd be great.
Okay.
I apologizing for coming late, but what day did you, or how soon did you say you wanted to get this going so I can schedule it with our Parks Department?
Probably by the end of September, maybe early October.
Okay. Thank you.
Yeah.
So the Trails Committee actually, our December hike is at Sherwood.
That's right.
And we usually look at that trail because by then, sometimes it's frozen, and we can hike that as alternative to the primary. But last year, it was warm enough that it was still pretty soft and muddy, fall rains, so.
But we look forward to it.
If this would be done, that would be great, right, for the Trails Committee.
I've hiked
We'd
it.
like to use those secondary trails if we can, and usually we can't, so.
And if you want to join us for that hike, you can come out and show off your
Yeah.
hard work.
Of course.
Yeah. Okay, do we vote? Is that how?
Yeah, I was just going to say, one more thing. I know that the Parks Department has done some improvements over at Sherwood with some of the paths, put in some trees. So I think a project like this, from the town's perspective, before you guys approve or disapprove, but I think it just goes along with improving that park. And we've heard so many people, even recently, reach out to the rec department thanking the Parks Department for all the work that they've done. So I think a project like this just goes right in hand with all the improvements that have gone over there.
Okay.
Appreciate that.
Well,
And-
I personally think it's worthwhile, and I would support it.
Yeah.
Me too.
Oh, yes, me.
Yep.
as well.
Yeah, I mean, we have funding for it. It's similar to other things, so yeah,
Okay?
it's more of a formality.
Unanimous.
Good job. Cool. Any other questions for Ben?
I just had one about the trail markers. Are you just going to sort of use the same method for marking, just sort of update and add them more frequently? Is that the plan? Oh. Is it on? Hello? The trail markers, are you going to just use the same method for marking, but just sort of update and put them more frequently?
I don't have a plan for that.
Oh, okay.
Like, should I?
You had just mentioned that the trail markers
Yeah, I
were.
hadn't really. I hadn't researched that yet. I was
Oh, okay.
more like, is there a way that I should do it, or like I think.
Yeah, we can work with you on that, but that's a great point. But we have 2 Trails Committee members here,
Right.
and our Parks foreman as well. So we'll work with you to get that stuff done. Again,
appreciate
above
that.
and beyond, we thought it was just the footpath, so it's all good.
Sorry,
All good.
No worries.
Yeah,
No,
I
it's
don't know.
okay.
Does
No worries at all.
all trails include colors? Like if that's a blue trail, and does all trails go that far? Because if you caught that, he's going to talk to all trails about adding it to that map. I don't know if it does.
Yeah, well,
I think it shows them all, but it doesn't,
I think it's sometimes, I think you get the dotted line, but then there's sometimes labels and stuff.
yeah.
I don't know how to get an official one updated.
Okay. Anyway, yeah, the Trails Committee can certainly help with some of those details to make it a viable trail for maps.
Yeah, I know that's an item under Trails Committee tonight with maps and things like that
Yeah.
for the kiosk. So it's, again, goes kind of right in hand with a lot of the updates we've been doing.
I guess I have one thing. So near my home in Hipbrook area, there's a similar trail system that goes back through kind of a swampy area. It's always wet. And a few years ago, somebody put, and I'm not sure if it was the town that did it or maybe it was an Eagle Scout project, they put chicken wire down on the surface of the wood to prevent it from slipping, right? Because it got really, really slippery, especially in the winter. So I don't know if that is something, I don't think that it was needed immediately. It was as the wood wore down and got a little bit, I don't know, algae moldy or whatever. That might be something that we need to consider at a later point, but probably
Yeah.
not now.
Yeah, yep. Yeah, I wouldn't add that onto the project as
No,
as
no,
at
no,
hand,
no.
but like a later on
Yep.
add-on.
I was also wondering if like I could put like mulch in some areas that I can't get to like help the like drainage or something like that. Am I allowed to do that? Or
Yeah.
We have mulch.
I've heard.
We have mulch.
How many dump trucks load?
Yeah, how
do you
many,
want?
how
We'll
many,
get
how
it
much do
there
you
and you
need?
can do it, yeah.
I've heard. I've had
Yeah.
do it a lot.
Cool.
Okay, thank you, Ben.
Thanks,
We
Ben.
appreciate it.
And thank you.
Thank you.
Thank
Good
you.
luck. Yeah, appreciate it.
Thank you, Ben.
Very nice. Okay, moving on through the agenda. Next up is the 2024 Parks and Recreation Master Plan Update Committee. So there's a Parks and Recreation Master Plan that was last created in 2019, and there's an obligation to update that every 5 years. So a committee was put in place back in, I guess probably about a year ago. It was really
Yeah.
started. It was active through the winter and spring. At this point, There's a draft ready or very nearly ready. And so the plan from that committee is to provide this board with that draft for review and comment at our meeting in October. The follow-on would be, if there's some changes that need to be made, incorporate those changes and present to the town board in November with the goal of having the plan adopted during the calendar year 2024. So any questions on that? There has been no activity over the summer, so that's...
Yeah, we decided to kind of take the summer off with everybody being busy, me included in that.
Yeah.
So I'm looking forward to restarting those discussions, but ultimately, we've kind of taken it to the end, and now it's just getting feedback from this board, and then we'll discuss it at our next meeting. I know I'm having difficulty getting it to you, as it's a larger file that may not come in email, so I'll work with the board to get it to them somehow, whether it's a paper copy or a zip drive, but I'll email that out. I'm hoping by early next week.
That's your action? Okay. Penfield Trails Committee. There's been a lot of activity since we last met in May. I don't know, Bob, do you want to do this, or do you want me to go through it? Or?
I was just using, sure, I think you have the numbers.
Yeah, sure. So, we do Penfield Trails Committee, of which I'm a member, as is Bob, as our leader. So we do a guided hike every month, second Saturday of every month, and the schedule's posted at the beginning of the year. And now we've also started to, in reaction to the Masterplan survey, we had requests for pop-up hikes of varying distances and difficulties in different areas or whatever. So we've added the concept of a pop-up hike. So we had our June scheduled hike was at the Shadow Pines property, and that's always a good hike. This was particularly interesting, I think, for me, leading that. Linda Teglash, our representative from the town board, attended that hike, and so she got to see firsthand. We hiked on the south side, so we talked about the history of the park and the different projects on the north side, the disc golf and the pickleball, but we talked at length about the bike multi-use trail project and the south side, and she could actually see almost start to finish, how that's being envisioned, and everyone else. So I think we had maybe 12 hikers, I think 6 from the Trails Committee, so it was a pretty well-attended hike. Turned about 3 miles, over 2 hours, I think mostly due to the discussion. But there was a lot of really good discussion. It was a nice day, so I think that was a really useful hike from an educational perspective, in addition to just being an enjoyable hike. Then later in June, we did our first pop-up hike, and that was not heavily attended. There were 3 hikers, 4 from the Trails Committee, but it was an interesting adventure because we pieced together a long trail, 8.5 miles, 4 hours. We touched 4 parks, 3 towns, crossed some roads, went under some bridges. So it was, saw an osprey catch a fish in the creek against a beautiful blue sky. So it was really a really nice hike, and for our initial pop-up, I think it was a success. And now we'll talk in a little while. They have some more planned.
So that was from Spring Lake Park in
Spring Lake
Parrington
Park
all the
in
way
Parrington
to Empire Boulevard.
to Lucian Morin at the south end of Rondequoit Bay.
How many miles is that?
It was 8.5.
8.5?
A little over, yeah.
One direction?
One direction, yeah. So actually, the Parks Department helped us out. We met at the end point, and so the hikers did, so we could leave our vehicles
Right.
there.
Okay.
And then the park shuttled us to the start. Joel came with the town van, and so then we hiked. So you were kind of stuck in the middle if you...
Yeah, I think it goes along, like you said, the Parks and Rec Master Plan stuff that we heard. Kudos to the Trails Committee, because a lot of the previous hikes year after year was go to the park, do a loop, to have a nice discussion. But I think it's wonderful that we're doing more of a connective sort of pop-up hike where 8 miles is quite a bit. Don't get me wrong. I would have needed a couple camel packs and some good shoes. But I think it's really cool that we're doing these kind of trail systems that connect different parks, different towns,
Yeah.
for people to start to understand that you can get to different places in Penfield just through the trail system. So kudos to you guys for doing that. And I know you map that out on all trails as well, so it's really cool from the Parks and Rec side to see just the trail that you always send us to see kind of the loop, and then maybe we can
that
fit
was
in.
part of the feedback from the community hikers. Wow, we didn't realize all these pieces fit together, and we didn't even mentally picture how they all related to each other, you know, so there's room for some improvement, but it went really well. July 13th was our Lucian Morin hike. I actually missed that one. Bob did it.
Yeah, I think we had around 12 people, and it was a great day. It had been rainy earlier in the week, but the trail was real nice and up and down the hills, so very enjoyable.
Yeah, and one of the things that we do with the Lucian Morin hike is we split, because that can be as long as 5 miles if you take the long out and back that goes to Glendevere, and not everybody wants to do that, and it's not advertised as a pop-up, you know, so people show. So I think you guys split, and some people took a longer route, and some people took a shorter route, too. So, and that, the second year in a row we've done that, and that's been positively received as well.
Yeah, because it's a tough place to hike, so there's definitely people who want to quit early or do the shorter version.
Yeah. And then August was Abraham Lincoln, which is probably our most challenging single park. And we also had another nice day for that, which, you know, middle summer can be too hot, but it's mostly treed, as is Lucian Morin, so it's pretty shady. We start at 9 in the morning, so it was pretty comfortable. And Hurricane Debbie had come through literally the day before, so we were worried about the condition, but the trails were really good. I think it drains well there, so there were some wet spots, but not even really standing mud. And I think we had 6 hikers, maybe 4 from the Trails Committee, took a couple of the secondary loops, so that was over 2 hours also. So that was another really good hike. Our next hike is Saturday, September 14th. So again, the second Saturday of the month. Starts at 9 a.m. and it's at Channing Philbrick Park. And this is our town history hike. And so Anna Jarvis from the Historical Committee is going to be there, and she will start with, I don't know, about a 15 to 20 minute or so presentation, talking about all the mills and things down in that area, kind of the origins of Penfield, how it started there. And then when she's done, we'll do our hike. So that's Saturday, September 14th.
And we're going to go up to the new Parrington.
Yeah, well, so in previous years, this will be the first year that the connection to Spring Lake Park and Parrington is open. That was under construction last year at this time, just about done. So this year we'll be able to go that far.
Great.
Yeah.
I guess actually maybe a question for Tim or Andrew, because I'm sure we'll get asked, what's the plan or current state of the bridge replacement work there? Because
I did do a walk with Mark Valentine and our liaison with MRB. We're just getting final. Everything's marked out. The new bridge is designed. We just have to present everything to the town board in the next work session. So hopefully, if everything passes, all that fun stuff, there's the potential of having that done next summer. So potentially, depending on funds and workload and approval. So,
okay.
Safe to say the target is next construction season?
correct. Yep.
That's good news. Any surprises in the design? I mean, I know there was
Nope, I
sort
know
of a vision, but
I know part of the surprises they had to, the initial design was like a 300-foot walk, and then they had to move it to like a 500-foot with a couple, getting away from the creek a little more per the DC and all that stuff. So, yeah, just a little change, but
has it been reviewed by the DEC then?
Yes.
It has
Yep.
to be, right?
Yes.
In order to present it
Correct.
to the town board.
Correct.
So the town board presentation is really around funding.
Yes. Yep. Yep.
Okay. That's good. Good news. Next item under Trails Committee, Monroe County has put out an Irondequoit Bay Parks trail user survey. So that's in reference to Irondequoit Bay West, Tryon, and Ellison. So of particular interest to Penfield because Ellison Park is partially in the town of Penfield, of course. And anyway, so I attended, and several other members of the Trails Committee attended the Monroe County rollout of this survey. Very similar to what, we did with our survey. They hired a third party. They put together a list of questions. I'll include in the minutes the link to that. There's a QR code. It's on their website, of course. But it's they're trying to find out who uses it, how it's used, how often it's used. It includes an interactive map where you can say, boy, I think a bridge here, or a boardwalk, or, bathrooms, or whatever. So you can drop pins and suggest, improvements. The bike community, Ben's not here, but the bike community is very involved because there are questions about connectivity between those parks, which is of interest to us because we like, the pop-up hike. We went under Browncroft and we went to the right. If you want to go to the left, go through Brighton, that's Lucian Morin and some Brighton property and Tryon. You have to right now go over the Browncroft Bridge. So this would be a good opportunity for lots of feedback on that and potentially lead to some kind of bridge there or some means of crossing. So that's that survey. They said they wouldn't give a hard date on when they were going to close it. They said as long as we're continuing to get feedback, we'll leave it open. But I think loosely they were saying probably the end of September. So that's what that is. Then there were several other actions that the Trails Committee is taking. There's the Wegmans Passport, and we're nearly through all of the parks that are referenced on there, trying to just get that information updated so we can print a new version that's current. And we also want to go and put new rub markers throughout. So the Trails Committee is hoping to nail that down, I think, at the next meeting.
And I just want to say for that one, that is a huge undertaking because, the passport, is also linked to the kiosk, which is also linked, obviously, to the trail maps.
Right.
So I think really, instead of just tweaking things here and there, yourself and the rest of the Trails Committee has done a order. This isn't like a one-year thing. This is multiple years worth of work to update the trails in that booklet to ultimately get it to the point of, okay, this is where we're at. Obviously, there's always going to be hopefully updates and changes, but kudos again to you guys for that overhaul because we're hoping to have kiosks updated, information
Right.
on the website, more interactive passports and things like that. So that starts with you guys literally getting out there and mapping and doing the footwork. So thank you.
Yep, you bet. You're welcome. Yeah, and you're right. And so there are 3 items on here, the kiosks and the trail maps. And I think the trail maps, I know, Bob, you had provided information, right? I just haven't gone and looked to see if the maps have all been updated.
I don't have any either, so.
Yeah, so we'll follow up on that. But that's, we have a couple more Trails Committee meetings this year, and those will be key topics for that. So that's, actually, we should talk about future pop-up hikes. I just mentioned there's 2 that we're looking at. Carol Hoffman wants to lead one. She's targeted October 3rd at Sherwood also. I think it would be too early to take advantage. And she's kind of targeting the elderly population, so she'd probably stick to the primary trail anyway. But it's good to see her step up and lead a pop-up and target an audience that may be intimidated to come to one of our guided hikes. So that's October 3rd. And then we're also talking about doing another long through hike probably later in October. So we'll be able to talk about that at the next meeting here.
And that's looking to be one of those larger connection hikes too. So I'm looking forward to
the goal.
that. Yep.
It'll be a beautiful, mid-October, and it's going to be sunny, cool, dry.
Of course.
Leaves will be turning. It's going to be perfect.
Snow will be on the ground.
Oh, just a dusting of snow.
Can't wait to get that phone call or email. Hey, what should we do? The weather. Well, Don, you said at the meeting. It's going to be good.
You promised.
Yeah. All right, so that's Trails Committee, unless anyone has anything else. Tim, do you want to have a Parks update?
So Parks update, short and sweet. It was a busy summer. We did all of our normal maintenance between painting athletic fields, Little League maintenance. We did the bunkers at the pickleball. We tried to mitigate the weeds there by putting some extra road salt down there. I think that's been holding up pretty good. I haven't.
Oh, there are
Those
no
disc
weeds in
golf,
those
yeah.
tracks.
Or disc golf, I'm sorry. Yeah.
It's, that is beautiful, and they
Perfect.
just went around and just put some lines around them today, so excellent. Thank you very much.
That's what we're shooting for.
You want weeds?
What?
Did you say there's new weeds?
No weeds.
No
Oh,
weeds.
No weeds.
Yes.
I was confused.
Naturally.
Yeah, we want the new weeds.
That's why I was confused, sorry.
We do have that big project going over on the DPW with the building, so our maintenance has been kind of, we've been in and out trying to find different spots to store stuff. We've been storing stuff at the cart barn, all over. But our crew's been doing a very good job of picking up the slack and going forward with that, even though the disruption to our barn. One of the bigger projects that one of the projects we've done recently is, if you notice on some of the hikes at Sherwood and around Rofus, the loops around there, our Parks Department has been putting pavers under the benches. So it's
Yes.
more, so
Yep.
they've done an excellent job. That was their idea. They came up with it. I wish I could take credit for it because it looks awesome. Yeah, we're working through all the parks with benches now and continuing that. We're going to start it pretty soon at Shadow Pines on the disc golf course.
I got to tell you, I had a number of comments recently about the benches that have been put on the disc golf course, and
Perfect.
everyone is super appreciative. They're all in great positions and great spots. They're well-made benches,
Yep.
thanks to the scouts.
Yep.
Great job.
Yep, and the goal for those is to put pavers under those so that's less maintenance.
Okay.
Weeds aren't going up through. So yes, it's collaborate. Thank you for the scouts for all they do in that. Pickleball update, we're hoping to have that end of the property opened up mid-October. I think we're still trying to hammer out a specific date for a ribbon cutting and when the bathroom / courts are going to be open to the public, but we're hoping for middle of October at some point.
And I know at the Recreation Department, and I'm sure the Parks Department, you're driving by and it looks wonderful. And we've gotten so many people that have reached out saying, when are they open? Can we go play on them now? Believe me, the town will be communicating when they're open and if there is a ribbon cutting, when it will be. So just please stay tuned to the website. By all means, you can call the Parks and Recreation Department, but we will definitely be putting it out there on social media and the website when that stuff will be open. So we're looking forward to
Hard to keep
it.
people away for another 6 weeks.
Yeah.
Stuff.
Yeah, are the playgrounds all done there?
So the playgrounds are 100% and the pickleball courts are 100% done.
They look beautiful, by the way.
Now,
I just told
now
them.
hearing that, they're 100% done.
But it's still a
construction site.
Correct.
So until all of the things are completed,
Yes.
they are not all open, even though they are 100% done for some aspects of it.
The gates are locked.
We understand people want to be on it, but please just wait a little bit longer for when the construction's done and everybody can
As far
get
as
on there.
as far as the phasing of that project, it is still an active construction zone. So just please wave as you go by. Don't pull into the parking lot. Shadow Pines bike project. I know
Yep. I'll touch base on that. Similar to our master plan, we decided summers were a little bit busy, not only for the rec and parks, but also from Adam, who is the consultant who is running the project. So again, we had a bunch of momentum with the master plan and the bike project, just having wonderful community input sessions where we got a lot of information. The project for the bike specifically had their own survey that got a lot of information. So I'm going to be reaching out to Adam to restart those conversations. You're going to be hearing more about the project. And from what Don said, walking the trails and things like that. I know that was taking place in the spring and summer, so we're excited just to see options, but nothing's been decided, certainly, but restart those conversations moving forward, as that is a piece of the original moratorium committee's decision on the south side. So looking forward to seeing what comes from that.
Sounds good. Anything else, Tim? Thank you. All right, Penfield Rec update.
So similar to Tim, I won't go too far into the details for the summer, but really just can't thank Parks and Rec staff, full-time, our seasonal summer camp, seasonal aquatics, event staff, things like that. It seems like just yesterday it was May and we were planning everything to move forward, and now we're here in September. So a really great summer, not too many issues, knock on wood, but all in all, 8 weeks of summer camp for the first year. And I just thought, I can't thank the staff and the kids and the parents enough. As we're looking, speaking of summer camp, I've talked about it before, going into 2025, we've prided ourselves in keeping it extremely cost-effective for families. If you look around just at municipalities, we are extremely low, and again, prided ourselves to be able to do that, as we heard from families that needed that kind of stuff. I know we're in the budget season right now, and I'm just saying out loud, we are going to have a significant increase to summer camp, and that is due to just overall costs going up, have finally caught up with minimum wage and other things, not just in the rec department, but around town. So that stuff will be communicated in the winter spring brochure. We talked about back, pre-summer camp, we're looking at changing up the registration for next year, where, we had it in December the last couple of years, and, word got out, and again, because it's cost effective and we run a great program, our wait lists were, above the roof. But because we did that in December, a lot of plans changed, so we were doing a lot of administrative transfers and cancellations and things like that. So we're hoping to come up with some sort of a plan of maybe having, because we do a winter spring brochure, we'll have everything advertised in the winter spring brochure, but maybe summer camp has a different registration date in February, March, or April, depending on what other places do. We understand that might affect some people with wanting to get their schedule set early enough, but I think for as many administrative things that we had to move around, I'm hoping it takes care of more issues that came up rather than not as many from December.
I can say that part of the issue with it being so early was that a lot of the other camps actually weren't available yet for registration. True. And so I think that's what we dealt with as a family is I didn't know what weeks my kids were going elsewhere, so I signed them up for everything.
Totally.
And then as March and April roll around, they're doing sports camps, other camps sort of show up, and so that's where, on the administrative headache shows up for you guys. Everyone's always very pleasant. Paul is wonderful, but I really don't think that waiting a couple extra months is.
Yeah. Agree.
Too much of a
And we won't hold it against you, Julie. You're not the only family that did it, and there's nothing wrong with doing that, but we thought a wonderful thing of starting off early, obviously, I think created a little bit more schedule difficulties. So,
yeah, it's almost too much lead time, I think.
And we try to be, I think the thing as a rec director and as a team, we try to just keep the message consistent, so it always felt like if we're going to open up registration, we want everything to open up. Mm-hmm. But definitely some of these programs like summer camp, it just needs to be handled a little bit differently.
Well, and what did it look like in terms of, because I know part of the question with the waitlisting was staffing.
Yep.
And so did it reach a point in the springtime where you had gotten a lot more staff on board, and then all of a sudden you were able to take dozens of people off the wait list? That's
also, a big part of that where, in December, we're just going off of, we hope we get this. And, I think the day after summer camp ends, we're already getting emails and phone calls from staff just saying, I'm definitely going to be back, but we understand that plans change, and a lot of our staff are high school, college, or teachers, and a lot of things come up. So I do think that February, March, or April timeframe for registration will also help us set, we're definitely going to be more consistent with where we're going to be rather than moving things around and adding off the wait list. So we're going to try it. All that stuff will be communicated in the winter spring brochure, which will be out at the end of November. But certainly if there is anybody out there with feedback, reach out to the Recreation Department. We'd love to hear it. We're still kind of planning for that.
Do you charge a cancellation fee for people who?
So there's a $10 cancellation fee, and that's also being looked at. Again, we want to be as consistent as possible, mainly for staff. When someone calls, hey, this is our cancellation fee, it's $10. If that's it across the board, it makes it consistent. It's an easy message. But with summer camp, again, it's just a different animal, a different program where there are other municipalities and places that do things differently. We're looking into that. I'm not as concerned about the cancellation fee. I think a lot of the issues will be mitigated by the registration, but it is something we're looking at because, $10 out of $140 here and there a week, I'm sure for some people it's not that much, but for others, it's quite a bit, so.
And I assume that you filled when people were dropping, you were
Yep.
filling them right back up because of the wait list?
Yeah,
Okay.
and I think too, we've always looked at it as, even though we were doing registration in December and we had huge wait lists, every week was filled no matter what.
Right.
But I think, after talking with staff and things like that, this was a little bit larger of a year because we did add a lot more staff and we were looking to add other locations. So not only were we adding, off the wait list, but we were also doing cancellations at the same time, which kind of made it a little bit more difficult to kind of handle when you're looking at almost 300 kids a week. So that number compared to other municipalities too, we have way more enrollments, and it's a wonderful thing, and that's helped us keep the costs a little bit less expensive, but I think things have caught up. So we're looking at all those changes. It'll be communicated.
Yeah.
So then looking at the fall, we got wonderful programs coming up. Registration started back in August, but highly recommend checking out our brochure online. Registration in the season really just started, so a lot of our programs have filled, the popular ones, but definitely check it out. We're looking forward to the fall season. And then just to recap some of our events, our Food Truck and Music Fest unfortunately had to be canceled due to rain. That's the one that we do with the school district back on June 7th. We already have a date for 2025 of June 6th. It's the first Friday, so hopefully we get some good weather for that. Summer concert series, in 2023 we had to cancel 4 concerts. This year we only kind of had to do a 20-minute break during one, so which was handled very well. So I think we had a good overall summer for that. Then our Independence Day Parade was canceled due to rain. I know there was a lot of logistics, and people are very passionate about that event, which we love. It's a wonderful event that we're very passionate about as well, but decisions in canceling and things like that are made for the masses. So hopefully next year we get some wonderful weather for at least the parade. We were able to have the fireworks, so thank you to town officials, parks crew, highway crew, facility staff, recreation staff, security.
Sheriffs.
We were changing, sheriff's department, ambulance, fire truck. We were changing everything, and everybody was just, what can we do to get fireworks for the community? So I look at it as a wonderful, wonderful team effort just to have fireworks that weekend. And we had our Community Health and Wellness Fair. It was the first ever on August 23rd. It had some town trucks. It had wellness vendors. It was a newer event, so it wasn't as heavily trafficked as other events that we have. But we already are planning that for next year. I think it's a wonderful event where if you're interested in health and wellness, just really mainly focused in Penfield, but some of the bigger ones in the Rochester area and food trucks, all that fun stuff. We're looking for that to be kind of late summer next year as well. And then our upcoming event, Tasting the Blues, it's going to be September 28th from 12 to 3. It's a chili cook-off, and we have local beer samples, some from Penfield, some from Rochester. Jenny's always been a strong help donating beer, so we're looking forward to that with Steve Grills and the Roadmasters. If anybody from this board is interested in being a chili judge. We're looking for a couple of them, not forcing you to do anything, but we'd love to have one, if not all of you, help out with the judging of that. And I won't give out the names, so I do know we already have 5 or 6 chilies. They might come and find you and figure out what you like and get the chili out there. But yeah, we're really just looking forward to fall, and then planning for 2025 already, which is crazy that we're planning for January through June, and it's September. So always looking to update programs, update events, but if you're from the community or this board or interested in anything that we currently do or could add, reach out to the rec department. Sorry.
It's a lot.
Sorry for
Thank you.
long-winded, yeah.
No.
Busy
Good.
summer.
Yeah, no doubt. That doesn't even touch it, I'm sure.
Yep.
Gloss over. Very nice. All right, well, thank you. So we're just about done here. Other business, I have none. We do have a couple action items that we've been carrying. Linda's not here. She took one, so we'll table that for now. We had one print and post Shadow Pines property event list to both the kiosk, the disc golf kiosk and the town kiosk. I don't know if...
Actually, I was just emailing with David from Disc Golf, all of the cross-country meets and other events that are going there, so I believe they are updating that on their end.
I was just going to ask you about that. I know there's a cross-country meet today.
Tonight,
there,
yep.
right?
Yep, so I sent him a list. I think there's maybe 8 meets. Some are Penfield, some are Monroe County, a couple Bishop Kearney. So they have all those dates, and they're on our website as well, I believe.
Did the construction cause any problems for them?
I wouldn't say problems, it was adjustments.
Yeah, we just had to, they didn't lose any footage on their course. They just had to go around it, that's all. They continued on, they adapted well.
There was a fundraising 5K back on Memorial Day weekend that was held by some local Penfield racers, and who are actually the coaches for the cross-country team, so it kind of benefited us that they did that back in early June, late May, of remapping the course, knowing that the cross-country team would need that remapping. So they're planning on having those races all the way until, I think the last one's like late October. We're looking forward to that, and then I'm sure it'll change next year to make sure that they go by the bathrooms and pickleball courts and playgrounds, so it'll be cool.
Good. And then the last one, establish a process for renting, loaning equipment. I know
Yep.
we've talked about that for a while.
Yep.
Is there any?
Yep, so I know internally we have a couple recreational activities already identified, and we have some of that equipment. The process for renting has not been established yet or put out there. We're hoping probably 2025 to start that, but we're thinking the pickleball, the bocce,
Right.
things like that.
Disc golf too, or no?
Disc golf for sure. Actually, disc golf is one that we already have a stack of disc golfs that luckily, Steve and other members have donated for us. So, yeah, all that stuff will be out there as well.
I got rid of all the discs that I had.
Oh, we thank you.
So I get to start all over again.
Okay.
I did reach out to one of the companies, so I think they're just waiting for you guys to say, hey, we're official and we'll send you some stuff. So what I'm finding is that many of the disc manufacturers are pretty interested in sending seed packs out, if you will,
Okay.
to different community events. So all we got to do is ask. So,
Nice. That's great.
Yeah,
yeah.
absolutely.
Yep.
Okay, old business. We've already talked about the bridge project in Channing Philbrick Park. Nothing under new business, no public feedback. So our next meeting is Tuesday, October 8th at 6 p.m. right here. And with that, it is, 6:51, and we are adjourned. Thank you all.
Thank you.